What's up, subscribers? How you guys doing? You guys have been holding up strong because you made it to chapter 8. We're going to jump right into that, but let me finish my drink. Because I got some deep shit. This is chapter 8, Discarded and Family Ties Cut Off. I'll be right back. Okay. So after this person started doing all of these manipulation tactics and running all of these malicious manipulation tactics, I'm like, all of this shit's not adding up. I'm going to my friend's house who lived 3 blocks or 4 blocks up from me, talking to them, telling them about it, and it's continuously going on. Then that's when the argument started. I started confronting them about certain things that they would do. Like, you're saying that you like being here, but why is your bags always packed? Like, as soon as we get in an argument, like you're ready to hit the door. Okay? Why is, different things happening, just things that my spirit would just not let me be at peace. I just knew something was wrong. I knew something was off. Something was not right. Every time I confront you, now you're doing the silent treatment. I mean, they ran silent. When I tell you they wore silent treatments off, because they felt like, okay, I'm being so nice. I'm talking to you. We're loving and kissing. But all of that is cut off when you don't do what they want you to do, which is continuously let them run over you and treat you like shit. So one day there in particular, this person was out, I guess, looking for jobs, or they were roaming somewhere or walking somewhere. And I'll never forget, my older sister came to me and told me that my parents were having a cookout. And that a lot of people's going to be there. And that, we came to scoop you up. She came to get me because I didn't have a car at the time. I was going through transportation issues, and she was like, I'm coming to get you, and, we're going to have fun. So one thing led to another. I was like, okay, well, if you come to get me, you got to get such and such. She was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. So she got me she came to my apartment. She picked me up, put me in the car. My mom lived on the north side of this city that I live in, which I was living on the south side. I still stay in the same area to this day, but I'm in an area that's so, like, secluded, they wouldn't even know where I'm at. And the security here, too, because I ain't playing with Nan Ho. Okay? So run up on the door if you want to and get your ass locked up. So one thing led to another. All of a sudden, she comes, she picks me up. We ride a few blocks up, and we see that person that I'm dating, the one. We picked them up. And then I said, well, you know what? Could my friend come to the party, too? And she was like, who? I was like, my friend such and such, which was the white guy I told you guys that I've been friends with ever since I lived in my parents' house. She was like, oh, I don't know. You're going to have to call them and ask. So I called them and asked. My parent was like, oh, okay. My mom was like, yeah, it's fine. So we went and pick him up. And then we proceeded out to my parents' house. We got to my parents' house. We walked through the side area to go to the back instead, because we knew that we would be able to communicate with people faster there, because when it's a loud commotion and people are partying and having fun and stuff, you rarely hear the doorbell. So we went to the back, and mind you, my parents have like different entrance areas to the back, so we went there. Me and my friend, the white guy. I keep saying the white guy because I can't say his name. So that's the best way I can really describe him. He's a white guy that was really cool. He's like my brother. He sat down. I sat down. And the person that I'm dating walks into... Actually, I'll never forget, my mom seen them through the glass sliding door. And she's like, oh, hey, such and such. Her eyes lit up for this person. And I'm thinking in my head, well, damn, why your eyes don't light up for me and them your own son? So, next thing you know, he's being escorted into the house, and she's showing different shrimp platters, different hors d'oeuvre platters. She's, welcome, and drink much as you want. And we hear the sliding door close, and they're just talking and talking. So, after that happened, I was sitting on the pad, facing my friend, looking at him dead in the eyes, and they were looking at me. And their first response was, Avius, You've got to be kidding me. I said, what? They were like, oh my God. He has them wrapped around his finger. So I was like, I told you, I kept trying to tell you that every time we come around, my mom treats him better than me and this and this and that and such and such. So this person's like, oh, that is some crazy shit, Avis. I know that you would come to my house and tell me all these things, but now I'm actually able to see it firsthand. That is weird. That's crazy. So immediately my friend grew angry. Like, why is this going on? This is weird. This is not right, whatever. So we went into my parents' house, passing all the commotion, and we went into the back room, which is my little sister's room currently, that I used to live in. She had it, which was the second biggest bedroom from the master bedroom. And we went in there to get away from the partying and all the loud noise. And we sat down, and my friend was sitting on the bed talking to me and was telling me all these things. He was like, oh, he's a piece of shit. Avius, you need to leave him. Da, da, da. He's just telling me all these things. Neither did I know or him that the person that we were talking about was in the room laying across the bed. How did we miss him, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know. My friend didn't see him. I didn't see him. And then I seen the person get up and walk around to my friend and was like, well, if you feel like you could do better, then take your chance or something, and walks out of the room, going down the hallway. And it was so exaggerated, ladies and gentlemen. These narcs exaggerate anger like it ain't nothing. They'll make it seem like they're so angry, and really they know that it ain't shit to be angry about, ladies and gentlemen. Things that we be like, what? You mad at that? And they blow it up out of proportion, ladies and gentlemen. It's all for attention. They're attention-seeking son of a bitches, okay? This person goes down the hallway and into the main guest area, which is the living room and the island kitchen where my mom is at. My mom make eye contact with them immediately. What's wrong with you? And then she looks at me and my friend like we're the cause of it. And I come down and I say, no. I said, I'm walking down the hallway up to her, and I say, no. I say, I'm just tired of him always acting like a goddamn angel when he's around you guys and da da da. And I'm explaining everything. Now, normally a parent would say, a healthy parent would say, they would have said early on, you need to leave this person if they're not treating you right. Not my parent. It was more so like, well, look, just go back to the apartment, and if they say something, just don't argue with them. And I'm like, this shit's not adding up. I was to find out in the time to come, which was right about now, of the reason why. Me and him get into a big argument. We're about to fight. Before you know it, me and my friend are being escorted out of my own mother's house into my sister's car. I didn't pay no attention until I realized we were backing up. And I'm like, well, why is he still here? But I'm going. Because he's standing in the foyer of my mom's house. Standing. And everybody's, talking because it was a commotion. And, everybody's in the uproar. But why am I leaving? Me and my friend leaving, but he's still here. My sister proceeds across town to drop me and my friend off. When she proceeded across town to drop me and my friend off, and ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all pay close attention because this is the part of the story. I don't care if I was to not tell y'all nothing else. This is the part of the story that I always love to tell people because this is it's like it's the breaking point to all the bullshit. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, my sister's proceeding across town with me and my friend. As we get across town, my sister stops by one of her friend's mother houses just to kind of talk to her about what's going on. But my sister was having a good time. Like, she's had a few drinks. She's in the vibe. So she really was stopping by there just to really talk with them and conversate with them. But just, and by the way, this just happened. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But I wasn't having it. Me and my friend were within walkable distance from our apartments. It would have took a little minute, like at least 10 minutes to get there. But I was like, you know what? Forget it. Let's just get out and let's walk. And me and him started walking. My friend was upset. He started crying to me. I was like, no, don't worry about it. It's not your fault. He was like, it's my fault. Even so, I feel like it's mine. I'm like, no, it's not. Go home and get you a good night's sleep. It comes a time where we had to split up because his apartment is over in this area. My apartment is 3 or 4 or 5 blocks up from his apartment. So I tell him to go get some sleep. He splits up, but I proceed on to my apartment. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kind of like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, I need to hurry up and get home because something's not right. Shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So now at this point, I'm like, okay, let me take out my phone and see what's going on. Because, you know that this big ordeal just happened at your parents' house, but you know that there's going to have to be some explanation to why we were dropped off and he's not leaving. Okay? And I pull out my phone because I want to see what's going on, and I get a text message. The text message came from him. I seen it says, you have one text message. I click view in my phone because now I'm like, okay, my heart's racing. I want to know what's going on. The first message said, I hate you. So I was like, so then another message came in. So I pushed view message. Then it said, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. So I'm like, what? Then there's another message. I click view. It's I hate you in caps. I hate you. Another message. I hate you, bitch. If I had a gun, I would blow your fucking brains out. I wish I would have poisoned every meal I cooked you. And the thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, is it was so disturbing because this person had been cooking meals. This person was known for their little chef abilities to be able to cook little decent meals and stuff, and the 5-star shit. You know, they wouldn't focus on like the fried chicken and the mashed potatoes. Instead, they're like, okay, we're gonna bake some lobster and do some shrimps and, you know, shit like that. And I would eat it because it was good and I like food. But now that this person's saying this, I'm like, mind you, not knowing what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, just freaked the hell out. So I started walking towards my apartment a little bit faster, my heart racing at this point, because it's like, okay, this person's showing me a whole different side to them. And not only that, they're like, I have no power over nothing because they're at my parents' house and there's nothing I can do. So I hurry up and get to my apartment. I unlocked the door. I went in the room. I got their clothes. I set them on the lawn chair that I had in front of my apartment, and I opened the blinds. Okay, I had on my I had on my porch light because it was getting dark. It was dark at night. And I sat on my couch and just waited for them to come because I knew they were going to have to come back to my place. Finally, I hear a car outside after a few minutes. I hear someone say, you got your things? Then all of a sudden I can hear the door unlocking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like I could hear it like it was yesterday. I could hear this. When the door unlocks, this person comes in walking really fast, walking right past me. I'm laying on the couch. They're like, but it's just something about that walk just didn't seem real. It seemed very exaggerated. They go to the room, they grab their things, and they walk out and get in the car. I get up to go to the door, to lock the door, but I try to look and see whose car is it, because I'm thinking in my head, okay, now I can see who they've been cheating on me with the whole time. But I just couldn't see the car because my porch light was shining in my eye. The car drove off, and I proceeded, back on the couch laying down. Ladies and gentlemen, I was to find out that car that came and dropped them off to get their things and to leave was my mother. Was my mom, ladies and gentlemen. My mom and her friend in the car. I'm not really sure who was in the back, but I just remember seeing them two take him back to her house to get his belongings to leave me. I stayed at home. Then in the morning, I got up and went to my friend's house. That's when I got a message that he had came back to the apartment that day. When he came back to the apartment, immediately I went to begging him not to leave, okay? Texting him, please don't go, don't go. See, what happened was he had done created a trauma bond, ladies and gentlemen. You get what I'm saying? See, I'm so used to him coming around and being in my life, and I'm no longer lonely anymore, even though it's not the best relationship. It's like there's somebody there, and I don't want him to leave. And I'm going to tell you something else, too, that I forgot to mention to you guys. When he first got to my apartment, I would complain about certain things about my family. And I'll never forget, it would go in one ear and out the other. But one particular night, he decided to listen. He was like, well, let me ask you something, Avius. Do your mother do this and do that and do this and do that? And what about this and that and that and this and that? And so you feel like this one, so you have like abandonment issues. He was pillow talking with me because he wanted to get all of things that he felt like was weaknesses so he could use them against me later, ladies and gentlemen. And this is exactly what he was doing. I begged him to stay. He ended up staying, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't really begging him at all because he planned on staying. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? But they want you to make it seem, they want to make it seem like this is what the scenario was, but it wasn't. Because he didn't plan on going anywhere. He was right where he wanted to be. Because he was surrounded by people that was exactly like he was. I would never forget one day that I was first off, he was surrounded by people that was like he was that I wasn't even aware was around me the whole time, my whole entire life. I'll never forget one day I was laying in the bed and he was laying in the bed. We were kind of cuddled up to each other. And I'll never forget, I was studying the zodiac signs. Because I always studied the zodiac signs, but I was looking up different information, compatibility and stuff. And I was studying his zodiac sign in particular. And I was like, okay, well, then maybe this is the reason why he do what he do. And maybe this is the reason. But I kept seeing the N word. And I'm like, why the fuck I keep seeing this N word? And one day I decided to click it. The word was narcissist. And the sentences that it would be in would be like, yeah, they could possibly be a narcissist and narcissism and narcissism. Clicked on that, and ladies and gentlemen, it opened up my eyes. It opened up my mind. It opened up the spiritual. It opened up everything. It activated everything that God had been trying to activate in my life for years, for decades, to allow me to know that's what he was, and the world was infested. It wasn't just him. The world was infested with people just like him, ladies and gentlemen. One thing led to another. I decided one day enough is enough, and I was going to break up with him. I went to the police department in my city. And the reason why I broke up with him there, ladies and gentlemen, even though he was back at the apartment, was because I said to myself, I'm going to break up with him here. But I want to be in the clear because I didn't trust him. And I knew that there's no telling. He would lie and say this happened and that happened. I just knew that would have been the best place. So whenever I broke up with him and he lied and said, well, he did this or he did it, the police would have had it on their cameras that, well, it's showing that he was in our parking lot. Smart with it. And when I broke up with him, ladies and gentlemen, oh, you best to believe he texts me all kind of obscenities. Different things. You're a waste of life, you effing B. I hope you die of AIDS, you effing B. I hate you. Different things like, you're a waste of life. You're ugly. You're unattractive. Nobody's going to want you. This and this and that. And ladies and gentlemen, but he left. And I felt bad because I was like, where is he going to go? Considering that he moved down to my city from his city. But I went ahead and went back home. And it was peace, ladies and gentlemen. It was peace that I had never experienced. It was the peace that I had experienced that I forgot that I had the whole while before he had even arrived. Then, I never forget, I was cleaning up my apartment and a song came on this little radio that I was playing. And the song, now that I come to think about it, it was Heathens by 21 Pilots. But the words that were being said was everything of what he was. And I was like, oh, who sang this? Because it was just like, all my friends are heathens, take it slow. Waiting for you to ask you who you know. It was basically talking about sociopaths and psychopaths and everything. And I just kept listening. I had to turn my vacuum cleaner off. I was vacuuming in the midst of it coming on. And I listened. And it was like, you don't know the half of being abused. And I looked the song up. And ladies and gentlemen, it was as if it was a bad movie going off. Like God was telling me, Avius, welcome to the real world. This is what you're enduring. After this happened, I went on about my regular life, picking up my nieces and bringing them back to my house. And then all of a sudden, that's when it occurred. This person started messaging me again, texting me after like 3 or 4 days. Oh, hey, how you doing? For what it's worth, I think we should be together, babe. And da-da-da-da. And I'm like, first off, you already done called my job and tried to get me fired. You tried to make it seem like it wasn't you, but my coworkers knew something was up. And I told them I was going to, and it was you that had called my job. Not only that, you had done all these things, but you're trying to tell me we need to be back together and this and this and that. I don't think so. Then that's when all of a sudden the stalking happened. This person left a note on my car. For what it's worth, we should be together and we need to be. And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, I still have a screenshot of the note right now to this day on my. I got receipts. I would go to work. I'll never forget being so depressed to the point where I couldn't eat for at least like 2 or 3 days. Just really upset and depressed. And then I would receive a text message, and I would be so happy to receive the text message. But see, the reason why I realized I realized the reason why they were sending me text messages. Because see, the longer you're away from the narcissist is the longer that you go into healing. And the longer I was being away from him, I noticed I was starting to realize, damn, I don't really need him after all. But he would always send me a text message in the hopes like, okay, well, he's going to respond back to this. Because he needed something to fuel his fire. He needed me to continuously be into him like I was in the beginning, but that was fading away. This was a breakup. This is the end of it and whatever. Then he told me, I said, so how are you still here? Oh, my uncle sent me a lot of money. And I was able to move, like basically saying like he moved into a hotel. And he was able to do this and do that. So, okay. But yeah, once I get my life together, we're going to be back together and everything. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, neither did I know. Did you know that? I didn't know it until I went home one day and I decided to go on a profile or two. I started seeing him at my mom's class reunion. I started seeing him out with my mom to eat. Different places him and my mother was together. And my sister, from time to time, my older sister, let's just keep it real. I stopped talking to him, ladies and gentlemen. It happened for almost 6 months I weren't talking to them. I stopped picking up my little niece and my little sister from school. And I wasn't talking to them. I would hear through the grapevine different things. My older sister say she ain't talking to me. And I heard that through different things. Like at the schoolhouse, such and such said that she ain't talking to you and da-da-da-da-da. And this and this and that. He ain't talking and I ain't talking either. And just different things. No, look at what the fuck you guys are doing to me. This person had done went through everybody that I had introduced them to that they had done met in my family and through me, and told him it was his fault. He did this, he did that. Talking to my mom, telling them all kinds of mean things, just different things about, even like our sex life. Telling them different things about, this and that, about, and I will keep it real. Everything that I ever did with this person was oral. We never had sex. Thank God. They would always say, we could try other things, but we never did. And I thank God to this day that we didn't. But they would say this and say that and say this and to my mom, and my mom would believe it. I kept wondering, why is mom believing it? Do this person have a magic spell over my family? Why? Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why because they was like him all along. This is the reason why. I would hear through the grapevine, this is going on, that this happened and that happened. And still to this day, I'm still hearing things through the grapevine. But I don't really care. See, because I have control and power. I know what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, I was able to see God open my eyes to things about them. And the reason why my mom was around this person that's so toxic, that's so evil to me, and so evil to your son, but why are you around him? Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for this chapter, but I will see you guys in the next chapter. Discarded and family ties cut off. I will see you guys in the next chapter, reconciliation with family. Bye-bye.